The iconic duel of Mustafar is perhaps the most scrutinized event in the Skywalker saga. The transformation of Anakin into a formidable entity of the dark side was a crucial element of this duel. His newfound power, derived from succumbing to the dark side, was of such magnitude that even Darth Sidious, the newly established reigning emperor, was taken aback by Obi-Wan's victory. This unexpected outcome prompted Sidious to reflect deeply on the reasons behind Anakin's defeat, as documented in The Dark Lord, The Rise of Darth Vader. These reflections offer profound insights into the duel's dynamics, continuing to fuel discussions even in recent times. In today's video, we will briefly delve into some of the reasons why Anakin lost the duel before exploring Sidious's own interesting interpretation of this legendary fight. To understand the outcome of the Mustafar duel, we must consider various factors. At first glance, it would appear that Kenobi should have almost certainly lost the duel. In the eyes of many, including Yoda, Anakin was the superior fighter and should have emerged victorious. But Anakin's overconfidence became his Achilles heel, effectively blinding him into the broader context of their duel. Sidious anticipated that Vader, with his formidable strength and mastery of the Force, would have overwhelmed Kenobi's defences, allowing for a final fatal blow. This expectation was not without precedent. Even Count Dooku, known as one of the most skilled duelists of his time, or perhaps of all time, struggled against the overwhelming might of Skywalker. The novelization of Revenge of the Sith reveals that Dooku, despite his ability to alter the direction of Skywalker's attacks using Makashi, found himself draining his Force reserves at an alarming rate. The raw power that Anakin wielded was simply unprecedented. But Kenobi did not suffer the same fate as Dooku. Of course, the high ground was the decisive factor that ultimately led to Anakin, or Vader's, defeat. In a pivotal moment, Kenobi positioned himself on a bank of black sand near the lava, his stance not only a warning, but also a tactical challenge. Kenobi's actions were deliberate. He even presented Anakin with the opportunity to opt for a less aggressive approach, which Anakin, blinded by his desire to dominate, failed to recognize. This miscalculation on Anakin's part led to the decisive moment of the duel. He sought to overpower Kenobi using a move reminiscent of the one that Kenobi himself had used to defeat Darth Maul. Believing himself to be the superior duelist, Anakin perhaps believed that if Kenobi could defeat Maul in this manner, then surely he could do the same. Of course though, this did not go as Anakin had planned. This though was not because the high ground in and of itself is invincible. Here on Earth, the high ground has long been recognised as important, but this is more to do with large military battles. In Sun Tzu's The Art of War, military leaders are advised to take the higher ground and allow the enemy to attack from a lower position. However, this is not really the case during a sword or lightsaber duel, as it doesn't really give you increased range like it would in an actual full-fledged battle. In fact, some fencers I've spoken to have said that sometimes it can actually be a disadvantage. Of course, the Jedi fight better than any swordsman here on Earth. Their reflexes are better, they can jump much higher, and they have mastery over the Force. Despite this though, a fundamental truth still remains. The high ground is by no means a conclusive advantage. Furthermore, Kenobi dispatched two of his greatest rivals, Darth Maul and General Grievous, from the low ground. The high ground was only really an advantage because of the specific skills of Obi-Wan. Kenobi had spent many years contemplating on the reasons why Maul had been defeated all those years ago on Naboo. In fact, after the events of the Phantom Menace, Kenobi had switched his lightsaber style to Form 3, the most defensive lightsaber form. This form served him exceptionally well, earning him high praise from Mace Windu, who lauded him not just as a master, but as the greatest exponent of Soresu in the Jedi Order's history. This mastery of defense was so starkly contrasted by Anakin's preference for Jem-So, an aggressive form focused on offense. The interplay of these two styles was akin to a dance, with each combatant's moves contemplating and countering the others, leading to a tense and balanced struggle. The duel's outcome was also influenced by more than mere combat styles. the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin played a pivotal role. Obi-Wan, Anakin's former master, had an intimate understanding of his apprentice's techniques and mindset. This deep knowledge, coupled with Anakin's arrogance, provided Obi-Wan with the strategic upper hand. Obi-Wan was well aware of Anakin's overconfidence. Kenobi, with strategic acumen, manipulated the duel's environment to his advantage. He cleverly drew Anakin onto a precarious walkway, the same one they had just destabilized, using every opportunity to turn the tide in his favour. Obi-Wan also made it appear as though he was losing for most of the duel, constantly retreating and running away. This not only served to tire Anakin, but also feed his overconfidence, which would ultimately lead to his fatal mistake. Therefore, Kenobi did not face the same predicament as Dooku had during the Battle of Coruscant. His unique advantage lay in his profound understanding of Anakin's techniques and arrogance, honed through years of camaraderie and combat during the Clone Wars. This intimate knowledge of Anakin's tactics and mindset was Kenobi's secret weapon, allowing him to ultimately seal Vader's fate as the loser of this duel. Yet the explanation for Anakin's defeat at Mustafar, as put forth by Sidious, delves deeper than the mere familiarity of the pair, or even the specific dueling styles they used. In his contemplated review of the Mustafar duel, as chronicled in the Rise of Darth Vader, Darth Sidious grapples with the perplexing outcome of this duel, Anakin's. As already noted, Sidious initially surmised that Anakin's superior skills should have guaranteed his victory. However, a deeper analysis revealed a more complex reality. Sidious acknowledges a crucial point. At the time of the duel, Anakin was in a state of profound inner conflict, torn between divergent paths. Sidious, a master of the dark side, understood that Anakin was trapped in a transient space, struggling between the light and dark sides of the Force. On one hand, Anakin was anchored by his connections to the light, his friendships, his profound love for Padme, his unborn child, and his innate desire to do good for the galaxy's citizens. On the other, the dark side beckoned with its promises of power, the desperate need to save Padme, and a growing urge to shape his destiny and that of the galaxy. This internal tug-of-war rendered Anakin vulnerable. As he transitioned between these two powerful forces, he was unable to harness the full potential of either. When Anakin transformed into Darth Vader and embraced the dark side, it was a rapid, uncontrolled change. This sudden shift left him with little understanding or mastery over his newfound abilities. Such a transition required time and reflection to achieve true control and mastery, yet Anakin had plunged headlong into this new identity. He had just betrayed Mace Windu, orchestrated an assault on the Jedi Temple, exterminated the Separatists, and then faced Kenobi. All this occurred without a moment's respite to assimilate his transformation fully. And at the same time, Anakin did not have the clarity of a Jedi that allowed them to tap into the light side. In an unusual gesture of recognition, he acknowledges the power of a true Jedi such as Kenobi. Sidious notes that Kenobi's apparent weakness was deceptive, and his success lay in his ability to harness his skills and focus resolutely on the task at hand. This, according to Sidious, was a stark contrast to Vader, who, despite his raw power, was hamstrung by his emotional turmoil and lack of complete commitment to either the light or the dark side at the time of their confrontation. This acknowledgement by Palpatine, who rarely praised any Jedi, comes forth in a significant dialogue in the novel, where Sidious confronts Vader. This conversation unfolds as Vader undergoes repairs on his newly transformed body, mere weeks after the climactic events at Mustafar. Vader, engulfed in rage from the recent turn of events, grapples with immense physical pain and a profound identity crisis. In these moments, Palpatine, still maintaining the guise of a mentor and ally, attempts to steer Vader towards embracing his new reality of power and dominion. He assures Vader of their invincibility as a duo, but Vader, consumed by self-doubt, fixates on his inability to overpower Kenobi. Eventually, Sidious's patience wears thin. In a burst of anger, he confronts Vader with a harsh truth.
No, you were not strong enough.
I'm not going to attempt the voice. Imagine then what Yoda might have done to you. Obi-Wan's victory stemmed from a singular, unwavering intent to eliminate Darth Vader. Had the Jedi Order possessed such resolute determination, focusing solely on what needed to be done rather than the fears of the dark side, our plan to overthrow them might have failed. Do you grasp the gravity of this, Vader? This revelation provides a penetrating insight into Sidious's perception of the Jedi Order, and particularly Obi-Wan Kenobi. He observes that the Jedi's paranoia was their downfall, yet had they remained focused, they might have been invincible. The core of our discussion, however, remains centered on Kenobi. In that decisive duel, Kenobi embodied the true essence of a Jedi, resolved, unwavering, and deeply rooted in the Force, qualities that Qui-Gon Jinn had instilled in him. With the Jedi Order decimated, Kenobi cast aside all personal attachments and emotions towards Anakin. During the duel, he was the epitome of focus and precision, a stark contrast to Anakin's turbulent emotions, particularly following his confrontation with Padme. Sidious, in a rare admission, acknowledges Kenobi's advantage, his readiness to do whatever it takes to stop Anakin. At the same time, Palpatine, in a moment of reflection, recognises the qualities that led to Anakin's downfall: arrogance, inexperience, and being torn between the light and dark sides, which ultimately led to his defeat, not a lack of strength. Sidious had mistakenly believed Kenobi would hesitate due to his past with Anakin, but Kenobi's preparedness to stop his old friend Anakin, who was oblivious to this reality, underscores the depth of Kenobi's commitment to the Jedi cause and the Force.